last week to create this CompPlan work group, and their meetings by statute, I understand, must be open, and I'm asking that I'd like to see these meetings televised live due to the great interest in this issue. So I just would like to get this on the agenda for that. Unless the meetings will be starting prior to our next, it might need to be an emergency agenda request. I'm not sure when their first meeting is scheduled.
Okay, so Commissioner Collins?
The only thing I'd like the board to consider is that this work group is going through the process right now of determining, its overall meeting decorum, et cetera. And I would only suggest that we give them an opportunity to discuss that as a working group. That would be my only consideration. That I mean, this is a relatively unique working group. I would suspect that they would probably be open to the idea anyway, but I would only offer the idea that we allow them the opportunity to make that determination as a group.
Commissioner Collins, I don't believe that the Open Meetings Act really, though, gives them that opportunity. I mean,
Right, but they're separate components, and clearly establishing
this is land use planning, and I believe the Open Meetings Act is pretty clear that anything that has to do with something of this nature has to be held in the open.
No, I'm not, that's not my issue. My issue is about them determining whether, in fact, these would be videotaped live. That's the issue.
Well, I mean, if they have to be videotaped, I don't see why the distinction between live or not live. They're open.
But again, I'm only suggesting that we allow the group the opportunity to deliberate over that idea.
I wouldn't support that, and not because I don't respect the group. I believe that we have an obligation with something this important that the citizens be able to see it in real time.
I make this suggestion and this agenda request, and as it's been pointed out, and since I haven't heard anyone say otherwise, the meetings will be open. I think the reason that televising them live is important is for transparency, and I do not want this in any way, shape, or form to evolve into the 2014 version of a smoke-filled room. Everyone should see what's going on. And in terms of the group itself making the determination, it was the Board of Commissioners who voted, mixed vote, but voted in the majority nonetheless, to create this group, and I think it's again up to us to determine how it will be presented to the public.
Well, and if I could also add, part of my rationale in this is because this is such a short-term committee, by the time it's the meeting happens and then the tape is then put up, it doesn't give citizens enough time to be engaged and involved. If this were a more extended time period, but we're talking a very short time frame, which is why I believe the live broadcast is important, because their citizens will need to remain engaged, and they shouldn't be asked or forced to wait to see, until this comes up on our CCG. That's really my rationale.
Well, it's a motion.
Okay, it's a motion to...
At least add it to the agenda. It doesn't have to necessarily be an emergency one.
Well, may I ask, Mr. Belton, what is the schedule? When are I mean, there's such a short time period here. Have they met yet? When will they meet? They have a lot to do quickly, right?
I have spoken with all 6 members.
Mm-hmm.
I forwarded you all a letter from one who will not be serving, so I don't have a full 6. And I have tentatively set a meeting for tomorrow, but I have just found out that Secretary Hall is not available, so he's given me 3 more times for Thursday. So everybody's on standby, and I can't really set that without a full complement of the 6 people.
Ms. Ferguson, I read the letter that you forwarded, and there wasn't a definitive statement of unwillingness to serve. I mean, but there was raising issues of concern and offering the opportunity to speak directly to the Board of Commissioners and or the Planning Commission. So
I apologize, I have not yet seen the letter. Who has...
Well, can we put, I think, since we're talking about the letter, it should come under correspondence, and why don't we discuss the letter openly perhaps later today?
Yeah, so you're asking to defer this to
Right.
later
I would
today?
defer the letter until we all have had an opportunity
Yes.
to read it.
I'm fine.
So we're all, there's consensus to defer? Okay, very good. Thank you, Commissioner Robinson. Next, we have,
We didn't vote on that.
oh, I thought you wanted to defer it? Just, okay.
No, the
I
letter,
understand.
the correspondence is the only thing I was asking to be deferred. The live broadcast request is still
It's still there,
on
okay.
there.
Is there a motion to add this to the agenda as an emergency item?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed. So that fails, the motion fails. 3 opposed, 2 in favor. Okay. All righty. Next, we have